Hello Wednesday Wanderers, I'm Ranger Erin and today we're wondering about hummingbird flight because the hummingbirds are coming back. Because it's spring, they are starting to arrive in places like Kentucky. They're waking up from hibernation if they were hibernators, so you can be on the lookout for these hummingbirds. But hummingbirds are really unique in the bird world because of the way they fly. They have some special adaptations to fly in different ways. So not only can our hummingbirds fly forward, but they can fly backward, they can fly sideways, they can go straight up, and then they can just hover right in one spot, and that's not something that other birds can do. And they have some special adaptations in order to make that happen. One of the first adaptations is kind of an obvious one. Hummingbirds are really small, and their small size allows them to change directions very quickly. Just like it's a little bit easier for a small car to change directions rather than a really big semi-truck. So a smaller animal can change directions a little bit more easily than a big animal. Another thing that they have going for them is that they have really huge pectorals. Now, pectorals are this muscle that's on the front of your body. You've got them too. It's kind of your push-up muscle. It's about a quarter of their weight. So they've got huge muscles in order to beat their wings super, super fast. So fast, our human eye can't even see it sometimes. So in 1 second, they can beat their wings anywhere between 8 times and 200 times. 200 wing beats per second. While they're really tiny, and they got huge pectorals, they have very small feet. And that's not just because they're a small bird, but they have smaller feet than you would expect. So they don't have much going on for their feet because if they had big feet hanging out there while they're flying, that would slow them down. So they have really tiny feet, but tiny feet in this case means they have kind of weak feet. So their feet are only good for perching. They can't walk around on their feet like other birds can do. Instead, they're going to have to do all of their movement through flying. Big pectorals, small body, beating your wings super, super fast means that you are going to need to get oxygen to all of your body very, very quickly. So hummingbirds have really big hearts, and that way they can pump that oxygen out to their wings for when they're beating their wings super, super fast. But beating their wings super, super fast also means they burn tons of calories. So they need to eat a lot. And their food choices, they're gonna eat lots of carb-rich, which is energy-rich nectar from our flowers, but they're also gonna eat tons and tons of that energy and protein-packed insects. So they're gonna be eating a little bit of both. The last special adaptation that our hummingbirds have in order to have their weird flight is that they don't just beat their wings up and down like most birds do, and they don't do soaring like some of our birds do. They'll beat their wing shape in a figure 8, and that way they're staying upright on both the downstroke and the upstroke. So that special figure 8 pattern is really going to help them to do special tricks up in the air, kind of like a fancy jet pilot rather than just that plane that's going to fly from one point to the other. This is actually an arm movement that we use when we're treading water. So when you push that water up and then down in that figure 8 pattern, it helps you to stay upright. Just like when you're treading water, it works for those hummingbirds when they're up in the air. First activity, we're gonna see how we measure up against that hummingbird. Do you remember how we said that those hummingbirds can beat their wings super fast, somewhere between 8 and 200 times per second? That means even our slowest hummingbirds can beat their wings 40 times in 5 seconds. So you're gonna beat your arms as fast as you can for 5 seconds and see how many beats you can get in and see if you can measure up to that hummingbird. My best was only 19 arm beats per those 5 seconds. So I'm only half as fast as the slowest hummingbird. See if you can beat a hummingbird, see if you can beat me. Another hummingbird activity you can do is to think about planting a plant that hummingbirds would really enjoy eating. These are a few of their favorites. You can choose to plant something in a planter on your front porch or out in the garden. For your hummingbird hike, go ahead and head out to probably a forest area. There are lots of hummingbirds that are going to be out in prairies as well. But in the forest, we've got a lot of these plants that are called spring ephemerals. There's going to be lots of flowers, and flowers mean food. It means not only is there going to be some nectar to eat, but there's going to be some pollinators that are visiting those flowers that they can eat those insects as well. These spring ephemerals only last for a short time, but oftentimes will make really colorful shows out on that forest floor. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you all next time.